gosh, it's so good to be here and to see all your sunshiny faces and to have, I didn't want to cry already. My sister, Tara, Carla. I'm going to get it together. You guys who know me know that. I'll get it together. So, oh, Nikki, hi. The rest of you, this was a secret, so thanks for coming, even then, though you didn't know who was going to be up here, and not running when you did find out who was going to be up here. So, truly, this is and will forever be my spiritual home. So, friends, I got into Cedar Rapids about 10 days ago, and with my dear Owie, and we got in at 11 o'clock, didn't we, pal, on a Wednesday night, and we were so tired, but by Saturday, at about 5 o'clock, I was rip-roaring mad at a family member. Someone I haven't seen in a year and a half. Not my sister Jean, okay? So here's how it happened. It was like a beautiful night and perfect weather for an outdoor party at a park. And I was at a reunion with some former coworkers, and I looked at my phone. So I'm just going to stop right there and say I was at a party, and I looked at my phone. What is wrong with us, you know? So I took this precious time from these people I haven't seen in years, and I looked at my stupid phone. And there it was, this email. And the contents made me really mad. And so not only did I take time to look at my phone at a party, but now I'm at a party, which was the reason I picked this particular time in history to come back to my beloved hometown. But now I'm at a party, and now I am angry, and my peace is disturbed, and I'm highly, highly knocked off center, and of course, it's her fault. You know that, because, So I did the only thing that you can do when you're at a party, and you're mad. I ate a lot of Lay's potato chips, and a good deal of chocolate chip cookies. And thank goodness there was only lemonade, if you know what I'm saying. And then the party was over, and I got in the car, and I called one of my sisters to vent, which I did loudly in the parking lot at Cherry Hill Park on a beautiful Saturday evening. And while we were on the phone, while I was on the phone, I figured out something I didn't say, and so while I'm on the phone, I decide to email this offender and tell her, here's why you're wrong, while I'm talking to my sister. Good Lord, Annie. I mean, really. So now this sister I'm venting to has all sorts of reasons to not speak to the person I am now ready to write out of my life, because she's been on the receiving end of the cray-cray, and now she's on the receiving end of this cray-cray. And she says to her crazed little sister, me, she says, and this really got me too, because this is probably something I've said to Jean, or you maybe. She says, when somebody triggers me like that, I ask myself, why am I being triggered? What is this triggering in me? And then she also asks, what of this person can I find what in the person who's offending, upsetting her, what can she find about them and her? I know. So then I nearly wrote her out of my life, because I'm like, really? I'm trying to embarrass you. Oh, this is his new thing. You're embarrassing me, Nana. Baby, buckle up. But you know what? That response really struck me, because my sister didn't get down in the mud with me. She didn't roll around in my indignation and my anger. She didn't relive all her altercations with this person with me. She didn't say, you should or you shouldn't. She simply shared what she does when she's in the midst of anger. And honestly, that response just stopped me in my tracks. And it hasn't really left me, and so here we are sharing it with you. So when our peace is disturbed, as for many of us, it so often is these days, right? Isn't it our natural reaction to point the finger at someone else and to say, well, it's their fault, and to say, I'd just be just great if this particular person, I'm just going to say, wasn't president right now. For me, that would be something. If they didn't do or say X, Y, or Z, right, like we'd be okay, right? And then we dig in and we publicly proclaim, again on Facebook, that we are done with the likes of all of you because you are the reason that I'm so disturbed. And I get it, I do. And I choose many a day, to try to unplug from all of it. But then I see your beautiful faces and your latest cat videos. That's me, sorry. And then I'm back on Facebook. And it's not really about our phone. It's not really about the phone, right? It's what we do, or Facebook. It's about what we do with this information, where we go with it, right? Now, I have unplugged from TV news. I binge watch on Netflix because I think that's helpful, So I don't have Dish, and I don't have cable, and I don't have DirecTV anymore. So I wasn't really aware that I don't really see or hear the news. I read the news most of the time because I don't pull up the videos because I don't want to lose my mind. So I don't see the news, and apparently I don't see Bachelorette, which I think might be responsible for a lot of what's wrong today. But anyway. But I'm staying at another sister's house because there's a whole pile of us, aren't there, Carla? I'm one of 6 kids. So I'm staying in another sister's house, and the TV's on all the time, even when they're not home, because the noise helps their 2 chihuahuas, or they're binge watching something, I don't know. Soap operas, I don't know. I love you. Do you want to stand by me? Hold my hand for a little while? That's our newest, that's our newest thing. Nana, it's embarrassing to hold your hand crossing the street. I've had people say that, so. You're not a little kid, you're right, baby. My point is I'm not used to the TV being on all the time, and more specifically, the news being on like all morning long. And so the things that I read about, because I can't bear to watch them, are now coming at me constantly. And I'm getting sucked in, and I'm getting mad. So fresh out of bed, I think my first day, I'm pretty sure, was the news that the gunman had shot up the newsroom at the Capitol Gazette. Jeez. Another shooting, friends, Gosh, another shooting. So, I didn't expect to get weepy on that one. I spent 16 years of my life as a reporter. So that one got my attention and my peace, and apparently still does. Oh, well, I'm going to, so just... He's forgotten he is at church, and usually we're quiet during church, just saying. So, but gosh, you guys, you remember, some of you who are old enough, do you remember when the news was just on channels 2, 7, and 9? And you'd watch it in the morning or in the evening, or if you were sick and you stayed home. Oh, hi. So good to see you guys. Just keep seeing you. Okay. But, you'd see it maybe over the noon hour if you were sick and you stayed home, right? And wasn't that just like a really lovely time in our life? When we didn't have these devices at our disposal 24/7, and these devices that pull us away from being present, that we allow. I mean, I know many of you who have these things, and they don't call to you like they call to me. Like I am sometimes tethered, and I tell myself, oh, I got to be on it because I'm a freelance writer, and what if, and it's so ridiculous. But these devices that pull us away from being present to our loved ones and our friends and our former coworkers at a party on a beautiful summer night, from these blessed moments in our life. And then there's social media. And if you want to get really worked up on that, you just tune into Facebook or my favorite cesspool, Twitter, for a few minutes, which I do several times a day. Or actually, I did, until I said, Annie, get a hold of yourself, girl. and I took Facebook off my phone and the shortcut off my computer, and I didn't put either one back on, which is a big deal for me, because usually I go, it'll be fine, I'll be fine. Because I don't want to be inundated all day with anger and hate and animal cruelty and photos of the giant pastrami sandwich that you had for lunch. Or the head wound you suffered when you opened your kitchen cabinet into your noggin. I don't want my day interrupted by a guy I went to junior high school with who called my cousin in Kentucky a racist. That's putting it politely. I won't even go into it. I don't want to read another long rant from another cousin in another state. I don't want to watch people I adore, and I think that's the trickiest part, is seeing people that I really adore, get so sucked into this hate and fear for our president, into believing that our country's going to hell in a handbasket. Though trust me, I struggle. I do, with all that's happening. And I could be in a perpetual state of anger and upset and disgust. But my friends, how is that helpful? Not just to me, but to you. How am I contributing to world peace when I can't even keep myself peaceful? When I'm spewing hate, and when I'm knocked off center, and I want to take a few of you down with me, Now, author Byron Katie, who many of us love and want to kick in the shins. We want to kick her in the shins, don't we, sometimes? We just do. She said that when she discovered, let me back up. Author Byron Katie said she discovered when she believed her own thoughts, she suffered. But when she didn't believe them, she didn't suffer. And that's true for all of us. Freedom, she says, is as simple as that. Suffering, she says, is optional. Joy, she says, is within us. But really, don't you want to punch her in the throat? Sometimes I do. I really do. Because sometimes don't you hate it when your sister holds the mirror up for you, Don't you just hate it when someone reminds you to choose a different reaction to this person who you feel, or situation, or event, or whatever, that you feel is just completely, they're in the wrong, it's wrong, whatever, that you can choose to stop yourself and say, dang, Annie, you're really fired up here. What is really going on within me? So yesterday I was at a baby shower for one of my beautiful nieces who's bringing a little one into the world in September, and I saw this lovely little painting with a giant heart that said, love one another. Love one another, because apparently it's right there in the Bible. John 13:34, a new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. I don't know about you, friends, but I think I've dropped the ball on this one, I'd love Trump if he would stop doing the things he's doing. I'd love this family member if she'd stop sending me crazy emails when I'm at a party. I'd love you if you would agree with everything that comes out of my mouth. I'd love you if you would hold my hand when we go across the street and not be embarrassed. Right? Okay. But can I make a different decision? I went to the march in Washington, D.C. because my daughter asked me to go. I'm still trying to sort all this gun violence stuff out and what my belief system is, but my daughter asked me to go, so I went. But can we march and find some way to extend love to those who have angered us enough to move us off the couch, to drive however many hours we drove to go to Washington, D.C., closer for me than you, but can we do that? Extend love to them, the people that have offended us on Facebook, whatever. Can we fully wrap ourselves in and around unity principle number 2? Our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. It doesn't say that I'm only one who's inherently good, or that just the folks here are inherently good. It actually says we, as in all of us. All of us. Democrats and Republicans, NRA members, and anti-gun activists, Donald Trump and Barack Obama, our essence is of God. Therefore, we are inherently good, all of us. So unity, we say, it says right on our website, is a positive path for spiritual living. We say that we gather here every Sunday at 10 bells, as Reverend Brenda is fond of saying, to create an experience of spirit, blessing all with the awareness that God is within. And then we sang, I know the music's taken a turn, obviously, but do you still do the peace song? Yes. Thumbs up. So you sing that, and then we go out the door, let there be peace on earth, let it begin with me, and then we go outside, and then we get upset with the president or a family member or some guy who cuts us off in traffic, and we get riled up. And it's going to happen because we're human. But we choose in that moment and the ones that follow, don't we? Like how we're going to show up. Are we individually going to create an experience of spirit and bless all of those we encounter, no cherry picking, all with the awareness that God is within each one of us? Are we going to walk on the positive path for spiritual living and be okay if we turn around and nobody's with us, right? Can we really, really, really live up to our name, unity, not just when we are in here hugging on each other, but when the stuff hits the fan? Aren't you proud of me that I said stuff, Belle?
Yes.
Thanks. I really hope we can do this, friends, because what I believe wholeheartedly is that our way to peace in our country and in our world, it starts right here with Annie, and it starts right here with each of you. It is an inside job, this path to peace. So if I can keep my little 5'2" person peaceful and centered and loving, as well as engaged and informed, and marching if I choose to march, that's the greatest gift that I can give to myself, to my grandboy, to you, to the country, and to the world. Can you imagine if we truly, truly, deeply believed that God is absolute good and everywhere present? What a relief, right? What a relief. We say this in unity. We say that we truly, deeply believe that God is absolute good and everywhere present, but wowza, wouldn't it be great? If we just really believed that. Even in the crazy, even in the chaos, even at Cherry Hill Park on a beautiful Saturday night when you're crazy, that God is absolute good and everywhere present. And, let's just let that sink in for a second. I'm not suggesting that we stick our heads in the sand and that we don't pray and move our feet, but discerning what is ours to do starts in our hearts and not in our heads. I'm pretty sure it's not our divine wisdom that leads us to post a rant on Facebook or send angry emails to our loved ones. It starts with tuning into our breath, getting ourselves centered, asking for guidance, especially at those times when we are not clear what is ours to do. How can I remain peaceful? How can I contribute to peace? Can I lay down my own guns, my own little assault weapons, and be that instrument of peace? And that's all I got, friends. So we're going to do a little meditation. My understanding is July's divine faculty is understanding, the ability to know, perceive, comprehend, and apprehend. So I've found a little meditation I'd like to share with you. It's not very long, and then we'll have a couple minutes of silence before there's more wonderful music. So this is a 12-power meditation exercise on understanding by a gentleman named Charles Roth. So get comfortable in your chairs and settle on in. So with the center of attention at the crown of your head, affirm, the Christ of God is quickened in me. Moving to the forehead, to acknowledge that you are aware or conscious of this spiritual awakening, affirm. I am aware that the Christ of God is quickened in me. And now to the solar plexus region, that emotional center, right where your rib cage meets. Feel the emotion of gratitude in response to this Christ quickening, affirming, I am grateful that the Christ of God is quickened in me. Now gently and easily let the focus or the spotlight of your attention travel to each of the physical centers. Faith, the gland in your head, faith. Strength, the small of your back. Wisdom, your solar plexus. Love behind the heart. Power at the base of your throat. Imagination between the eyes. Now let your attention rest at the forehead and spiritually quicken the faculty of understanding by affirming the light of understanding enables me to see clearly and to take right action. The light of understanding enables me to see clearly and to take right action. And let's sit in that sacred space for a couple of minutes.